Hey everyone, Ice McFall here, and welcome back to another episode of Raspberry Flavored. So for this episode, I'm actually going to be starting to actually use the train that we built in the last episode. We don't really have any uses for it yet. So I will talk about what I've been thinking I could use the train for. I was streaming earlier and I came up with an idea. But also, here we are. This is where my nether portal is for the inside of my factory. This is actually the first basement floor. And I've actually filled in the walls for everywhere in here, so it all looks kind of nice. And, you know, our train is right here, and I can even disassemble it here because I moved the train station up a little bit so that it'll all be aligned here so that I can actually disassemble the train here. So, you know, I lag when I'm here. I'm thinking I tear down these farms and I move them somewhat away from the factory. And what we could do is we can have my new train actually go and take items from those farms and bring them back to the factory. I mean, we have the whole train track behind here. And instead of having the vault like back here, which was what I was initially going to do, we can actually have the vault right here. And so we can have the vault in place of all of this right here in the middle. So that way, right when we go through the nether portal, we have access to the factory storage, and that means I can get rid of this whole mess because this is just my lava farm and my cinder flower farm. And also, speaking of that, you remember how I mentioned I don't have a lava farm? Well, that's because I don't have any way of getting excess lava to other places. So if we just make an independent lava farm, we could use that for just other things, just have lava, but we can also use it for the steam engine. So we're going to be trying to move away this lava farm and the cinder flower farm and try to hook it up to like the train somehow. Okay, so I've got a little bit of an update as to what's been going on. Also, did I cinder that? I didn't cinder that fluid tank. Oh my gosh, I need to cinder that. But anyway, as you can see, I tore down the whole lava farm and the cobblestone generator that was connected to it. And then if I head back through here, you'll see the train over here. I've moved over here for now. And this is where I'm setting up the lava farm. It's actually up there, and it's going to be a new building that's next to the iron farm. I'm going to have a fluid tank here with lava, and that's what the lava farm is going to be supplying. And then whenever the train comes over here, it's going to be able to pick up that lava into its fluid tanks, and then it could, you know, leave and go back to the factory. It also connects to this portable storage interface right here, and this is so that the train can actually deliver some blazed hearts, because we actually need blazed hearts for the lava farm, because the recipe for lava is actually smelting cobblestone with a mixer. It needs a superheated blaze burner, which requires blazed hearts. The train isn't actually going to be turning in over here. Later on, I'm going to have the train tracks go that direction, and this is all going to be blocked off. It's all going to look, you know, way nicer than this later on. I just need to get all this started. So this is the cobblestone generator up here, and then it goes to this chest. It's going to have a funnel, and it's going to go into this mixer to get, oh my gosh, what's attacking me? A baby zombie. But yeah, mixes into lava, and then I have the pipe here, of course, that's going to go into the fluid tanks down there. Oh my god, wait, how is the train not hitting me right now? What? Okay. Well, as you can see, the train takes the lava from our tank here, and it also delivers blazed hearts. I don't know if it actually delivered any though, because I have a system in place so that it's not going to just take all of the blazed hearts from my factory, because that would be really bad. But it waits here for 30 seconds before it leaves. I'm going to go ahead and hop on this train, and I'm going to show you the steam engine is actually working again. Here, it's depositing lava and also picking up some blazed hearts. How did that spawn? I have a threshold switch up here, which makes it so only so many blazed hearts will go into that vault for the train to take. And that it's just because this threshold switch will activate the funnel right here that's taking blazed hearts out and into the vault down there. And just based on how many blazed hearts we have, it'll either take blazed hearts out or just keep them in there. So that's the kind of system I have in place. Of course, this vault is going to be extended to be, you know, 3 by 3. Alright, so I've done a lot on stream. So, yeah, we have this vault extended, and we have another threshold switch. Actually, we have three for sugar, eggs, and cinder flour. And this is just throwing away sugar, eggs, and cinder flour that are like, we have too many, we don't need those. We actually can see some of those in here. I don't know why there's no cinder flour. Probably because it still hasn't been sent from this vault, but basically we have the blaze tarts being sent down whenever there's enough in here already. But now we also have sugar, eggs, and cinder flour being sent down as well. So we have a thing here as well. So what this means is that whenever this vault is filling up, it's just going to send excess resources down to our vault down here. And then whenever this vault fills up, it's going to send those items into a fire because, otherwise the vault is going to fill up and I don't really want that. So I did move the cinder flour farm, and you can see that we have cobblestone left right here. I'm going to go ahead and make this into the heavy stone bricks. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so I filled that in. Also, I just want to mention I use these redstone connector blocks, and these are basically cog blocks. Yeah, they changed in one of the new updates. They changed the texture and name. They're actually pretty cool. But I actually have those going on along here, and then they go into a redstone torch, and that's why these are off, but those are on. The reason we actually have these redstone connectors messing with this funnel is because the train is actually delivering cinder flour from the cinder flour farm to here, and it gets delivered into this vault. And the only way for us to get the cinder flour for the blaze tarts in the vault up there is for us to send cinder flour up. So that's why this is here. It's detecting if the vault up there needs cinder flour, and if it does, it sends it up. So that's what that's about. Also, I do notice we have a piece of cobblestone up there. Next thing I want to do is actually make it so this is a little nicer looking, because right now you just see this whole mess right here. And it's actually really bad as well if we come around this way. Let me just wait for the train to leave real quick. Alright, the train is leaving. So yeah, as you can see, this is just a whole entire mess right here. I'm gonna attempt to cover this up. Yeah, I want to try to use some copycat panels or something, like slabs, anything to try to cover this stuff up, because you know what's going on our main floor. We have the whole steam engine mechanism stuff going on, but we have it covered up, so it's nice looking. I want to do that same sort of thing down here as well. Alright, so this is what it's looking like now. As you can see, it's, nothing's showing. You can see up here, inside of here, there's like a whole thing I need to patch up there. But yeah, all of this now is only noticeable when we go in here, so it's perfect. I do need to solve the issue of, around that way where the train is. Not like I'm really gonna be ever out there though, so it's not like the biggest deal. And there's also this patch I need to fill up, as I mentioned. And now, as you can see, I have, tried to cover up everything. You can kind of see the little gaps around here, because this is where the storage interfaces are for interacting with the train. I'm not gonna, hide those. I feel like that would be kind of weird. It does kind of feel weird with it being empty like this, because it looks like there's nothing going on. But there absolutely is. There's a lot going on back there. This is also very much a mess. I don't know if you might have noticed, I actually moved the item pipes from being under there to being up here. And that was just so that I could fit more stuff going on down there. Like these funnels up here, I needed space for those. So I ended up moving that little pipe somewhere else. And those pipes are so nice. I'm going to have to use those again sometime. But you can see how this works now. Whenever there's too much sugar, for example, it just drops down onto this belt. And then it goes into this funnel, into the chutes down here, which are actually going down into a belt that's leading into this vault right here. So that's how that's working. I think I'm going to go ahead and fill in the top part here. I'm actually out of those blocks, so I'll have to grab some more. Please don't drop onto the vault. That would be annoying. I don't want them to drop onto the belt and go into the vault. It's not the biggest deal. Actually, I have access to the vault now. I didn't at first. So now we have a decent looking main floor and a decent looking basement floor. And Still not a decent looking bottom floor. We need to sort this out later on, but it's not for next episode because, we got to do some other stuff. We can't just sit around the factory every episode. So we're going to be doing some other stuff later on. Wow, it is so nice to be back at the tower. I'm rarely ever here, but it's nice because look at how smooth my game is. Compared to when I'm in the factory, it's just so much better. I've been thinking about what's next when it comes to my base. I feel like what I'm missing is an actual house cuz the tower is nice and everything, but I feel like to get started and actually making base progress, we need a house. My idea of where I want to put a house, I have another portal right here. That's where I used to go through all the time. So I was thinking I clear out this area right here and I put it there. So I'm just gonna like clear out those trees and maybe flatten out the terrain there. I'm not the greatest at building. We're just gonna have to see how this goes. I'm gonna get to work on that now. All right, we are getting somewhere with this. As you can see, I've flattened out this area so it looks a lot different than what it did earlier. I'm thinking I'm gonna have the house here and don't mind that random redstone contraption. I wonder if it works. That'd be kind of... What if it still works? Yeah, I think it was to launch me in air, yeah. Oh my gosh, I just took a lot of damage from that. Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. That was like a failed experiment from a long time ago. I was doing something. But I think for this house, it's going to have like the floor just coming out over this cliff and just be supported up. I think that'll look fine. Just the house entrance can start like right here. Also, there's all these like all this wisteria wood around here. I don't know, maybe I can mix in the wisteria planks somehow. This episode is only 10 minutes long and I did not want to end the episode there. And I just feel like we need to get some more stuff done. We need to get some more buildings and we need to get some more building done because we've done too much work on our factory. Like, we only have our tower in the factory. That's our only 2 main buildings and I want more. This is what I've got so far and I realize I probably want to expand it a little more and make it a little longer because that's kind of small, but at the same time I don't want to have to build the biggest thing, but still I want these to be more squares and rectangles. So I went to get some more wood. I have some more oak logs in my inventory. I went to spawn to the old tree farm, because I still need to build one here. I need to build a lot of gray farms here actually, but I noticed when I got to spawn to the tree farm that I was lagging like crazy for a moment. And I was like, there's no way that I'm lagging this much because of one tree farm. I was like, when I'm here in the factory, of course, there's a lot going on, so of course I'm lagging. But then I remembered that there's something called Flywheel, and it lets you change different like rendering modes for create. And apparently the one called instancing works super well for me. Here in the factory, I'm actually having 120 FPS sometimes. Like, what? I hope you guys notice it because I absolutely do. Also, another thing I'm saving up for other than a new computer, even though new computer is now a little lower on my list of things I want because, apparently it's not actually too bad, so that's nice. I'm also wanting a new mic because I learned that there's actually like 2 different types of mics apparently. There's dynamic mics and there's condenser mics. And dynamic ones are like really good for... It would make it so I don't have to do like crazy noise suppression on my mic. I'm pretty sure anyway. Because right now I use noise suppression software and sometimes it doesn't do the greatest job. So being able to have a better mic to help with that problem would be super nice. I'm like not too sure if these colors work well together anymore. It's funny because if you look right here, it's like, oh wow, this is actually somewhat of a unique house. And then you come over here and it's like, oh, it's just your generic Minecraft house, the same one I build in every single world. I do want to talk a little bit about when I'm gonna end this series. It's probably gonna be like near the end of the year. That's my guess, sometime near the end of the year. I'm gonna try my best. I mean, I say this a lot, but I'm just trying my best to be consistent uploading these videos. And, maybe I'm not super consistent with uploading right now. I feel like I'm getting better. Like every single time I deal with just stress involving not like because usually I don't upload because I'm stressed to or like I don't feel like doing it. It's something like that. And I just think that every time that happens, I get better at dealing with whatever it is that's preventing me from making a video. And so, in general, I should be getting better at it, at dealing with that stuff, however weird that is. So, end of the year is probably when I end this series. And then I have, I think, permanently moved from Bed Wars content, Hypixel content, to modded Minecraft. So I'm going to be doing another modded series after this. And I'm probably going to be looking for like small YouTubers because I feel like that's a decent way to find people. I'm just going to like look for people who are just can play on a Minecraft world for a long time. Find people like that and that just seem like nice people and get some more people together for the next SMP. Hopefully that'll actually be active, of course, because my friends on here aren't too active. Also, this house looks really nice, actually. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's actually better than what I was expecting because I'm not the greatest at building houses. I was gonna put a window here, but actually I can't because of this little roof right here. Do I want to just fill this in as well? It might be better. This is like a little balcony. I don't know if I'm gonna put... I could put a staircase. Maybe I just put like a staircase on either side or something like that. Or like a little balcony going around the side of the house could be really nice. I know if you're like really good at building, this looks ugly, but I'm not the greatest at building, so I'll take what I can get, I think the inside with the roof being stone and everything else is wood might look a little strange. Maybe it could look nice if I made that into stairs. I don't really know. Actually, I don't think it looks too bad with it being completely wooden. Oh yeah, let me get this icon off my screen. That's something that Raspberry Flavoured has. I think it's like in Quark is the mod. What's a good example of how I can show it off? Usually stairs are a good way. But yeah, it's like this button. I forgot what let me look it up. It's called rotation lock in the controls. Basically, it lets you press the keybind when you're looking at a wall. And then even if you're placing something in a different direction, it'll just rotate to be in that direction. So it's really nice if you're just trying to keep building in the same direction, but you don't want to have to make sure you're facing that direction every time. So yeah, it's pretty nice. That's what I use for placing these stairs. And I don't know, I think having it just be full wood aesthetic looks pretty nice in here. Of course, I could have made this building a little better if I didn't just stick to normal oak wood for most of it. At least I tried. I tried a little bit with the wisteria planks to do a little bit better than just oak logs, but it ended up being a majority of oak logs. The front looks alright. The back actually looks kind of interesting. I want to show you that because you can see the balcony and stuff and how it comes out. I kind of like that. It looks pretty cool. Maybe I should have a window, a 3x3 window there instead of just fences. I don't know. Would a window look better there or fences? I'm gonna leave it there. If anyone comments, if someone comments fences or windows, I will do that. Not too bad. I really need to work on making some create farms now, especially now that I know that I won't be like super laggy. And when I say create farms, what I mean is like some actual normal crop farms, because that's my farm. Yeah, I know it's not it's not great. Thank you all so much for watching. And I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. I'm actually looking forward to the next episode. So hopefully it won't take too long for it to come out, okay? Please. Yeah, okay. Bye.